All right, welcome back everybody. This week on Main Street, and this week, this day, here in the dietitian's office, the nutrition-oriented space where the magic happens, right? So, we have covered a lot of ground with the ladies here from ShopRite, and we've gone everywhere from macronutrients to supplementation. We've talked about meals on the go. We've talked about a little bit of everything, which has been fantastic because I think, not only do I think, I know that nutrition is one of those legs on that three-legged stool, one of those pillars of training and athletics and, optimal human performance. And really, that's what I wanted to get in today. I want to talk a little bit about this idea of fueling, for both leading up to some sort of competitive event, and then also post. And maybe that competitive event is just your long run on the weekend, or maybe it's this really big track workout you want to do, or maybe it actually is the race. And I want to talk a little bit about, some strategies that endurance athletes should be considering, some things that they can employ when we really go after this kind of like pre-event. What are some things that, people need to be thinking about when they're approaching their big event?
Sure. So, one thing is tried and true. It's so important. If you have a regimen in place that you do before race day, you don't want to change that up on race day. If you're ever going to try anything new, you have to do that outside, big window outside of race day. So during the training, when you go on maybe a fast, if you have a sprint workout one day, or if you have a long run one day and you want to experiment, then that's the time to experiment. So just keep what you're doing now, but experiment during training days. You want to think about pre-race. You need to deliver fuel to your muscles, and you need to have it fast. So those are the times close to race. We don't want to eat a lot of fat. We don't want to eat a lot of fiber. So you want to do things that are very light. So it could be something, normally we would say whole grains, right? But this is a farina that's an enriched, so it's a refined grain. It's very low fiber. It will give you the carbohydrates you need. It's fortified. It has, vitamins and minerals in there, but it won't sit and be delayed in your stomach to cause problems on race day. So we want to look for more like this. Or Sheila brought, the egg noodles, which are also enriched, lower fat, even though it says egg noodles. So that is also a good choice for earlier on. But if it's right pre-race, we want to be hydrating. You want kind of, again, a mix of carbohydrate, a little bit of juice in that water with the sodium, so a little bit of salt, so you got the electrolytes that you need to. But pre-race, you really want to make sure it's low fat, it's low fiber, so that it doesn't kind of mess with your GI.
Totally. It's so funny, right? Because over the last episodes, we've talked all about this really healthy way to fuel your body, this really healthy approach to nutrition. Yeah, we're hitting it all, right? And then today it's we want refined, we want, quick delivery, low fiber, everything that you might hear, or I should say the opposite of almost everything you might hear. But when it comes to race day strategies, you're talking about delivery of the nutrient as fast as possible.
Right. You have to take into consideration your own system. So some people almost have a stomach of steel. So, 6 hours before a race, they can have a regular meal, well balanced, not super high fiber, not super high in fat, but they don't have to have zero of those things. Whereas somebody with really a nervous system that has issues, you may want to start as 4 hours just having all low fiber, all low fat, where somebody else might be able to get away with something different. So that's where the one-on-one, the individual, and knowing your own system comes into play.
And you mentioned the hydration, so we always talk about liquids, but it's also the foods. Again, fruits and vegetables are very high in hydration. So watermelon, cantaloupe, your tomatoes, cucumbers, celery, bok choy, your lettuces. Again, they're a little bit lower, watermelon's a little lower fiber, obviously, than an apple and a pear, so again, eat your water and drink your water. That's important.
Yeah, and pre-race day too, we were talking a little bit before we started filming just about nitrates and beets, very popular supplement just to help you be more efficient. Endurance athletes have seen increased times of running times using beet juice supplements, and just eating more nitrate-rich vegetables. So it's really important. We want to get it from our fruits and vegetables because they have the vitamin C, for example. They have the antioxidants that help prevent the negative side of nitrates from happening, turning into like nitrosamines or cancer-causing compounds. But they have the nitrates themselves, which can help our vascular system so that we can be more efficient with our exercise. So again, not first time on race day, but prior, during training, try beet juice. Try a whole week of arugula, of beets, of carrots, of celery, adding all those foods in a smoothie perhaps every day, increasing that intake to see if you notice that performance intake. And then you can also experiment with the beet juice which we have in the aisles that you can try to see maybe 75 minutes before you're going to have a workout that's pretty intense, to see the impact that it has on your GI system, hopefully if you tolerate it, but also to help with your performance.
And we have a little vacuum sealed I Love Beets, so we have the plain, we have the mild vinegar, and we also have like a honey and a ginger.
Yeah.
So they're awesome just to snack on those as well.
And they're ready to go. So talk about eating on the run. We have so many good foods, including those beets. That's a good one too.
Awesome. So if I'm kind of getting it straight, the first thing you said, tried and true. Don't start something new on race day, but experiment, early on in your training with maybe some of these different tactics. You talked about plant-based nitrates and some different kind of tactics to maximize performance. I'll share a quick little anecdotal story. For those first timers on the whole beet juice idea, do not be surprised when the red comes down the other side as well. That can be a little alarming after a very hard effort.
Yes.
So that's totally normal. I learned that kind of the hard way. So that hammered on pre-event, which is fantastic. Talk to me a little bit about post-event, right? You've just given your all. You're just absolutely wiped. You've laid it all out there. What should I be thinking? I know what I'm typically thinking is, how quickly can I get a beer in my hand? But maybe from a nutritional aspect, what should I be thinking, post-event from a nutritional aspect?
So sure, we want to just replenish what we've lost. So a lot of our glycogen, our muscle fuel, so those carbohydrates, and we want a fast delivery. So again, right after a race, you're probably not in the mood for something super heavy.
Right.
So it's going to be low fiber, low fat. It's going to be high carbohydrate right away with your fluid.
Like, again, like some dried fruit, you have that window of opportunity. So again, you want to make sure you fuel back those proteins and carbs that you've lost. But yes, fat. And, I want to say fat and protein are usually the fat's the longest, it takes the longest to burn off. So, you want to, again, fuel quick and easy, have your beer, have a pretzel.
So what you can have your pretzel, you can have white bread with a smear of a nut butter, let's say.
Yeah.
Or egg white, so you can make a nice egg white on a nice focaccia bread, white bread roll with some good herbs. Not too much oil there that time, wait a little bit later. You can grab fruit, you can grab a banana, you can do your low-fat chocolate milk if you want. Now you got protein and carbohydrates coming in together, and your fluid that you're replacing, so that's a really good choice. If you don't tolerate the dairy side, then you could do the plant-based versions. We have plenty of the almond milks, chocolate to sweeten it up and give you a nice flavor, low-fat, but high fluid, high carbohydrate, and protein, as well as they have the cashew milk too with the protein added.
I was thinking like protein powder in a Guinness and like mix it around and like just slurp that down.
Recurrent theme.
Knock them all in.
Feature.
There you go.
That's later. So you want that right away, of course, and then every 2 hours you're going to be just increasing. Eat another nice snack. So if you have your beer, I don't know, I'm having my beet juice, but then you can have your plate of pasta, you can have your nice spices with that. Now we're taking in our chicken breast sauteed, or our nice tofu with some ginger and turmeric and
I'm getting hungry
garlic.
again.
So we can do that, or we're heading over to the bar there where we have those lovely tricolored potatoes already roasted. So now we can have that, yum, 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 with some sauteed greens, and you can have some fresh fruit on the side, maybe some papaya with some lime juice and cilantro. All that fresh fruit in that smoothie you can
Love
do.
it.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like you're saying, look, you've just given your all. We got to get it back in. It maybe is a little bit of a slow and low tempo because we don't want to, throw it right all back in at the same time. But lots of snacks, you said, and kind of work it back in, and then I guess I'll just kind of leave, with this idea that, I know so many adult or endurance-based athletes, recreational athletes, I asked them, like, well, why do you run? They said, well, I run so I can eat. I run so I can indulge. If there was ever a time to indulge, I got to think it's like that post, big event. You snack it back in, but don't be afraid to enjoy, right?
Exactly. Once you're ready, once you feel your GI tract is ready to feast, go. Bravo. Job well done. And enjoy your favorite meals.
I love it, guys. Well, you have been so incredibly helpful. I cannot recommend coming and chatting with these folks and their colleagues high enough. From diving down into sweat rates and supplementation needs and caloric intake, as it relates to training, to the incredible diversity of product and nutritional sources that these guys have at their fingertips here. Please do take advantage of them. Hit their app, dietitians.shoprite.com. It has been my absolute pleasure, and a special shout out and thank you to the Hunterdon County ShopRites for supporting the Rise community and Main Street all these years. Guys, thank you. It's been great.
Thank you. And just again, we wanted to let you know we do have our Phillipsburg store. We have a dietitian in each of our stores. Right now we're hiring for the Phillipsburg store.
There you go.
Filling in.
I'm there
and
now.
I'm a nutritionist here. We have Sam in our Yardley store, and Morgan was out on maternity leave, and she's coming back, and she's in our Bethlehem store.
Amazing.
So again, it's a free resource. Many different ShopRites and the whole footprint, all different states. So again, you can go on to that dietitians.shoprite.com, put in your zip code, and you can see the variety of ShopRites near you that might have a dietitian.
Amazing.
With more than 40,000 different items in the aisles, there's always something new popping up. So do come say hi. We're happy to show you some new surprises that we've gotten in, and maybe some new treats too. Some treats for you that you could use and enjoy.
That's fantastic. Till next time, guys. This week on Main Street, thanks again to the ladies and ShopRite. Have a good day. We'll see you.